All right, strap in, everyone, because today we're going deep into the Himalayas
Oh, cool.
to a spot where, honestly, reality and legend get a little blurry.
Sounds interesting.
We're diving into the story of Baba Harbhajan Singh,
Okay.
an Indian Army soldier whose story, well, goes way beyond his death back in 1967.
I've heard a little about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. What I find so fascinating about this is, how it all ties into
Yeah.
the history of Natula Pass. That high altitude border
Yeah,
crossing.
right between India and China.
Exactly. And, that whole region, man, it's got such a heavy history.
Definitely. Lots of tension, conflict.
Yeah, so the need for a protector.
Yeah.
Like someone or something watching over them.
Makes sense. Yeah. Both like practically and symbolically, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Wow.
And our source today, this article,
I think I saw that one too. Yeah.
it's called The Story of the Ghost of an Indian Army Soldier Who Still Protects India's Border.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it really gets into all the beliefs that surround this guy, Singh. But before we get into the spooky stuff, let's start with the guy himself, right?
Yeah, sure.
So Harbhajan Singh, born in Punjab, 1941,
Okay.
joins the army, ends up part of the 14 Rajput Regiment.
Wow.
And, it's kind of a typical soldier story in a way.
Right?
But then, well, it takes this crazy turn.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
So Nathula Pass, tough terrain, unpredictable weather, you know the deal.
Definitely. Definitely.
And it's where Singh, sadly, meets his end.
Oh.
1967, leading a mule supply column. He slips, falls into a glacier, and drowns.
That's awful.
It is. It is. They recover his body after 3 days of searching, full military honors at his cremation,
Right. Very sad. But I mean,
You'd think, end of story, right?
yeah, I mean, given the dangers of that region,
But like you said, things take a turn.
a supernatural turn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get this. They say his ghost led the search party to his own body.
Wow. Hold on.
And that, my friend, that is how the legend of Baba Harbhajan Singh begins.
That's wild.
It is wild. So think about that. Even in death, he's still, dedicated to his duty,
Right. Still looking out for his guys.
guiding them to him. I mean, that's powerful imagery, right?
Absolutely. And you got to think, why this story? Why there? Why then?
Good point.
Think about these soldiers, right? Remote, high-stress post,
Huh.
constant danger.
Absolutely.
They need something, some reassurance.
Yeah, some sense of safety, protection.
Right. So maybe this belief in Singh's ghost, it's a way to cope,
To deal with that constant fear, the danger.
Exactly, exactly. And then it gets even more solidified.
Oh, how so?
They build a shrine dedicated to him.
Wait, a whole shrine?
Yeah. And they say he requested it in a dream
A dream?
to a fellow soldier.
Hold on. So not only does his ghost supposedly lead them to his body,
Yeah.
he then asks for a shrine to be built.
And they actually do it.
Wow. That's something else.
It is. It is. And that shrine, it becomes real, right?
A physical manifestation of their belief.
Exactly. Exactly.
A focal point for all their reverence, the need for protection, like you said.
Yeah. It's not just a story anymore. It's part of their lives.
It's woven into their world.
Right. Right.
And it doesn't stop there. The soldiers at Nathula, they're convinced
Oh, I bet.
that Singh's ghost, who they call Baba, yeah, it's like a term of respect, almost like for a saint,
Oh, I see.
They're convinced Baba protects them to this day.
So, wow.
Baba Harbhajan Singh, his presence, it's like ingrained in their lives.
It sounds like it, yeah.
They believe he warns them about danger, 3 days in advance.
3 days. Wow, that's specific.
Isn't it? And he protects them while they're on duty, all that.
That's amazing. And we're talking about a border region.
Right.
Right.
History of conflict, it's a tense place.
Yeah, Natula Pass, it saw some serious fighting back in 67.
Just months before Singh died.
So that fear of another conflict, surprise attacks, it's real.
Yeah, it's got to be heavy on their minds.
Absolutely. They need that protection, physical and spiritual.
It's like Baba Harbhajan Singh became their guardian spirit.
Watching over them in this volatile environment.
Yeah. And it's not just the Indian Army,
Really?
even the Chinese. During those flag meets
Oh, right. The formal meetings between
between the two sides,
Yeah, yeah.
they say the Chinese acknowledge him too.
No way.
They even set a place for him at the table.
That's incredible.
Right. It's like this belief. It transcends, I don't know, borders, politics.
The powerful story, yeah.
It really is. And the rituals, they just add to it all,
What kind of ritual?
They clean his uniform, his boots every day.
Really?
Yeah, and there are stories, people say he makes his rounds at night.
Like patrols.
Yeah, and he even supposedly wakes up soldiers who fall asleep on duty.
Wow. So they treat him like he's still serving,
It's like he never left.
like he's still part of the unit.
Exactly, even in death.
It's like he's crossed that line, between life and death.
Yeah, yeah, a constant presence, a guardian spirit.
Right, a part of their lives.
And it's not just symbolic, right?
No.
This belief, it's real, it's daily life.
Yeah, the rituals, the constant care for his shrine.
It's more than a story, it's their experience.
And that brings us to one of the most remarkable things about this whole thing.
Oh, what's that?
The train journey. Every year,
Oh, yeah, tell me about that.
September 11th, they put Baba Harbhajan Singh's belongings on a train.
Okay.
And it's accompanied by soldiers, a whole contingent,
And where does it go?
to his hometown.
They send him home.
Every year. The train stops along the way, people pay respects.
Wow.
Like a pilgrimage, almost.
Really?
And when they reach his village, they stop right at his family's doorstep.
That's powerful.
It is, it is.
Like, even though he serves at the border, his spirit's still connected to home.
Juna's roots.
Exactly. This Baba Harbhajan Singh, he has an impact,
On the soldiers, the community, even nationally.
And get this, until recently, he was still getting promotions.
You're kidding?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
He reached the rank of honorary captain, and they sent his salary to his family.
Throughout his service.
The whole time. It shows how much respect they have for him.
Even in death, he's a member of the army.
It's mind-boggling, man.
Totally. Mixing the mundane, the promotions, and pay
Yeah.
with the supernatural.
It's like a paradox.
It really is. Baba Harbhajan Singh's story, it's become part of their culture.
Their culture? Yeah. You keep saying that. What do you mean exactly?
Well, think about it. These soldiers in these remote, dangerous places,
Right. Right.
they need something to believe in,
Something to hold on to.
something bigger than themselves, than the danger they face every day.
I see. I see.
And Baba Harbhajan Singh, he represents courage, duty, protection.
He gives them solace.
Yeah, strength, a sense of continuity, even when facing death.
So it's not just the supernatural, it's the human element too.
Exactly. The camaraderie, the shared beliefs, it brings them together.
In the face of all that adversity.
Right. They find strength and meaning together.
This is starting to make a lot of sense now.
It really does raise some interesting questions about belief, the power of stories.
Yeah. And our need for meaning when things get tough.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot, but I feel like we're just getting started.
There's so much more to unpack.
We've got the story, but what about the implications?
How does this belief system affect their lives, their decisions, how they interact?
Exactly. Let's get into that. This whole thing, it makes me think about other military stories, Like Baba Harbhajan Singh, he's not the only one, right?
No, you're right. All through history, different cultures, same kind of tales pop up.
Soldiers, sailors, airmen,
Mm-hmm.
their spirits sticking around.
Watching over their buddies, yeah.
Protect your spirits.
It's a common theme, especially in those dangerous jobs.
Right. Makes you wonder why.
Yeah, why these stories? Why in the military?
Well, think about it. The pressure, the anxiety.
Especially in combat zones, yeah.
You're facing death all the time, your friends.
They gotta be heavy.
So you look for comfort, reassurance, anywhere you can find it. So these beliefs, these stories, they're like a coping mechanism.
Yeah, a way to deal with that. The death, the loss, the constant danger.
And in Baba Harbhajan Singh's case, he's like the ideal.
Like courage, duty, protection, all that.
He becomes a symbol of strength.
Resilience, yeah. Even in death, there's purpose.
Like the perfect soldier.
Never gives up, even facing death.
And it resonates,
Yeah.
especially for those guys out there.
And it's not just some individual thing, it's woven into their culture.
Right. The rituals, the stories, the shared experiences.
It all builds up this collective belief.
that binds them together.
Exactly. They have a shared identity.
So it's not just comfort, it's about the group
Cohesion. Yeah, unity.
facing hardship together.
Finding meaning.
These beliefs, they become part of belonging.
To the unit, the military itself.
And that belief, it can change how they act, right?
Of course, soldiers who believe in Baba Harbhajan Singh.
They might feel more confident
Yeah.
knowing they've got this guardian spirit.
More willing to take risks, maybe.
Like a psychological shield,
Yeah.
a boost to their resolve.
But there's a flip side too, right?
Oh, what do you mean?
Too much belief, it can be dangerous.
How so?
Less caution, over-reliance on the,
Supernatural.
Right. It's a balance.
The human mind is complicated, especially in those situations.
For sure. Even good beliefs can have uh, unintended consequences.
Context is
You
everything.
got it. We got to look at these stories carefully.
See both sides?
The good and the potential bad.
We've talked a lot about the soldiers, but what about his family?
Oh, that's an interesting angle.
They get his salary, his things come home every year.
What do they think about all this?
We don't know a lot about their views, really.
But you can imagine it's got to be a mix of emotions.
Pride, grief, maybe even responsibility.
Their loved one becomes this revered figure, almost mythical.
It's got to be strange, overwhelming.
Personal grief, public commemoration, all mixed together.
This whole thing, it's really opened my eyes.
So all the layers.
It's not just a ghost story.
It's history, psychology, culture, how we see the world.
Humans, we love stories.
We use them to understand things, connect with each other, find meaning.
And Baba Harbhajan Singh's story, it's a powerful one.
It gives people comfort.
Even if we don't believe in ghosts, we can still see the values there.
Duty, courage, selflessness.
Things we all admire. We can be heroes too.
Absolutely, we all have that capacity.
And the rituals, the traditions,
They bring people together.
create community, belonging. Especially in tough places like the military.
A support system, a reminder you're not alone.
People find comfort in different ways.
Religion, spirituality, even stories like this
We all need something to believe in.
should give us hope, strength,
And those beliefs, they shape us.
our actions, choices, how we see the world.
So as we move to the last part of our deep dive,
Mhm.
what do you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I want them to see the power of belief, how important stories are.
And how culture shapes us.
Even if we don't believe the same thing,
We need to be open-minded.
see the impact these stories have on people.
This has been a wild ride.
I agree.
So many insights.
It really makes you think.
A story I won't forget.
It shows how strong human belief can be.
And how we find meaning, even in the face of, well, the unknown.
Exactly.
Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
of course.
Exploring the story of Baba Harbhajan Singh.
It's a good one.
Hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And maybe learned something new along the way.
Always learning.
We've really gone deep with this Baba Harbhajan Singh story.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Unpacking all the beliefs, the history, the psychology.
So many layers.
But now I'm thinking, okay, what's the big picture?
the takeaway, right?
What can we learn from this, even if, we don't believe in the ghost part,
Good question. For me, it's the power of the story itself.
the narrative,
Yeah. Baba Harbhajan Singh's story, it's been around for decades.
crossing borders,
It
cultures,
shows how stories shape how we see the world.
give us comfort when things are rough.
Even make us brave when we're afraid.
It's like we're programmed for stories, right?
Totally. We use them to make sense of things.
Connect with each other.
Find meaning.
And for those who believe, this story, it gives them a lot of meaning.
Comfort, too. Yeah.
And it's not just about the supernatural stuff either.
It's the values the story represents.
Duty, courage, selflessness.
Yeah. Loyalty, too.
Those are things we all relate to no matter what we believe.
Universal stuff.
It reminds us that, hey, we can all be heroes.
We all have that potential.
Put others first.
And the rituals, the traditions, they matter, too.
They build community, belonging.
Like with Baba Harbhajan Singh, the shrine, the train journey,
They share that experience.
connects them to something bigger.
It's a way to express their beliefs.
Connect with their past, honor the people who came before.
It creates continuity, history,
Especially in tough spots like the military, that belonging matters.
support system, strength, knowing you're not alone.
Yeah, it all ties together.
This whole deep dive, it's made me think about how people find comfort
Yeah.
when things are uncertain, dangerous.
Whether it's religion, spirituality, or stories like this,
We need something to believe in.
to give us hope, make us strong.
And those beliefs, they change us.
For sure.
Our actions, our choices, how we see things.
So we've reached the end of our exploration.
What's the one thing you really hope people take away?
I hope they see how powerful belief is
The importance of stories.
and how culture shapes our worldview.
Even if we don't share those beliefs,
Keep an open mind.
see how these stories affect people. This has been an amazing journey.
It has.
So many insights, things to think about.
The story of Baba Harbhajan Singh, it's memorable.
It shows how strong human belief can be.
And how we find meaning, even when faced with the great mysteries.
Well, that wraps up this deep dive.
It does.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
It was a pleasure.
We explored a truly incredible story.
One that makes you think.
Hope you enjoyed it.
I certainly did.
And maybe, just maybe, You discovered something new about yourselves along the way.
That's what it's all about.